Hey, Year 11, it's just me again. I'm hanging out in my front yard this time, just chilling like a villain. But yeah, that wasn't cool. But anyway, I'm going to ramble just a little bit here. Going to talk a little bit about PDH. And as you would know, in PDH this year, we're really going to be very strict on the syllabus. It's all about the syllabus. If you can unpack that syllabus, you're set up for success. So we're going to look at the first couple of syllabus dot points for fitness choices today. The very first dot point asks us to critically examine questions such as: to what extent should exercise be a part of lifestyle, and what does it mean to be fit? Now, the first thing we need to look at right here is critically examine. What does that mean? Well, of course, critically examine means we've got to look at it, but we've got to look at it with a critical eye. So that means that we can't just say, you know, just describe what it is. We actually have to say, well, this is what it is, and this is why. Always be asking yourself why. So the first thing that they want us to critically examine is: to what extent should exercise be a part of lifestyle? So to answer that question, you're going to have to think about what is exercise. You have to think about what your definition is. Have to work out exactly what you define exercise activities to be. Is it some sort of organized exercise like going for a run, or is it going to the gym, or is it playing sport, or is it just anything that you do that is physical? So you have to work out what is exercise, and then you need to work out, well, how much exercise should you be doing as part of a healthy lifestyle. There's definitely recommendations out there. I'll leave that for you to find out. But yeah, you need to think about that yourself. How much exercise is enough? And of course, is there such a thing as too much exercise? These are questions you need to think about. So not just the bottom amount, but also the upper amount. And then, what does it mean to be fit? We hear people talking about it all the time. Oh, I'm not fit enough. I want to get fit. What does fit mean? Like, what does that actually mean? How can we measure how fit somebody is? Again, there's got to be things out there. I'm going to leave that for you guys to work out and find out. Of course, you can ask me questions. I can steer you in the right direction. But think about, how would you actually work out how fit somebody is? Now, we do fitness tests at school. Think about what's in those fitness tests, and think about what they're actually testing. So are there different kinds of fitness, and how do you measure fitness? Okay, so yeah, some interesting questions there to think about. That's from the first dot point. The second point we need to look at is analyze a range of opinions about the value that people place on fitness. So the key word here is analyze, and we're also looking at a range of opinions. Okay, so we've got to look at more than one. When we're asked to analyze something, basically that means let's just look at the overall overall opinion of it. What's been written about it? Okay, so analyze a range of opinions. So we've got to say what's good about these opinions, what's bad about these opinions, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. And if we think about a range of opinions about fitness, we've got to think about who are the different people out there in the world who would have an opinion on fitness. Okay, so think about a guy like Cameron Smith. He's a professional athlete. Fitness, pretty important to him. He's going to place a really high value on fitness and fitness training. A guy like Shannon Ponton from The Biggest Loser, he makes a living off fitness, as do just everyday run-of-the-mill gym instructors. Obviously, they're going to place a very high value on fitness and on training. Take an older person, or somebody who's in a wheelchair, or somebody who's not able to get around very much. What sort of value are they going to place on fitness? Take somebody who's a bit on the obese scale there. What sort of value do they place on fitness? And then, even just like a little kid. Little kids, by their nature, they have a very fast metabolism, they've got a lot of energy. What sort of value do they place on fitness? So there's some interesting things to think about. There's all different people out there in the world. They all have different values and attitudes about fitness. So you need to look at a range of those and analyze those opinions, which means, find some, look up on the internet, find some people, see what they have to say about fitness, interview some people, talk to some different people. Even around our school, there's a lot of different people with a lot of different attitudes about fitness. You have people who are involved in representative sport, all the way down to people who, that sport is something it's a bad swear word pretty much. So you'll find people who have all sorts of different attitudes about fitness just within our school. So maybe it's worth getting out there and asking some questions. Maybe do that as a class, and we can all share the data. Actually, I think that's a great idea. I should have thought of that earlier. Anyway, enough rambling from me. That's the first two dot points. We'll talk more about these dot points in class and really dig our teeth into it. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'll catch you later.